Hey,
Here we are. Yama, I'm Luna. Welcome to the GDay Saturday when I get my stuff worked out. How you going? I hope you had a good week. Sensors say we all had a weird week this week, so if you had a weird week on the weird shitometer, you're not the only one. So let's get this show on the road and see who's in the house. What have we got here today? Hey! How you going, Malia?
Yama, good day.
Yama.
It's Saturday in Australia, Friday
Yeah.
night
Oh,
in
yeah.
California.
Happy Easter, everybody over there. We already had our Good Friday yesterday, if you're into that. And, yeah, are you into
It
that?
is Easter, isn't it?
Yeah. Ash,
It
It's time
is.
for Easter.
and
Yeah,
here,
it feels a little strange this year.
It does.
It's a leap year.
It's. I've had a weird week too, Luna.
g'day, Jules, and welcome.
I had a really weird Saturday morning. I had, I guess you would call them. They weren't apparitions because I didn't see anything, but I had lights turned on by themselves. I heard voices in my house. The cats heard them too because they were mucking about, running like banshees, screaming. Total weirdness, and I'm tired all week. Coming home, just crashing, and I have absorbed a lot of information about this eclipse coming up, and I found a couple of religious dudes that I've been following, and I am learning so much in such a short amount of time. How the questions, because my parents were ultra Christian. I identify as a Christian, but I'm not like Bible thumping. I believe in something, but I'm seeing so much prophecy line up with this current event. And I found a couple of, and I would call them prophets because they're like able to piece politically what's going around today with what's going on, even down to parting the Red Sea. And it's been an interesting educational political week for me.
Wow. Keep the weirdness coming. Yeah, we all had a bit of weird.
It was rather paranormal. It was a strange week. We had strange occurrences, possibly ghosts, definitely ghosts in some instances, and Uh, yeah, yeah, it was a weird week, Luna. Opening that's what we get to open the year this year, and I think it's totally in topic with what we decided to talk about too today.
Yeah,
let's
I'm late to the party because I worked a half day and I've been under the weather today. I have no idea what we're yarning about, but
Oh,
here
I
I
didn't want to bother you with the details,
am.
Jules. You weren't feeling well.
No, no, don't. I'm with everybody else. I'm
All
ready.
right.
You
So,
are well versed in this topic, I think.
yeah, you wait
So,
till you're here. So, what do we got for you this week? I'll tell you what we got for you this week. First off, we're going to take a look at the platypus. Why? It's a very interesting, weird animal, and this is all about weird, amazing stuff. So, strange and beautiful stuff. And this animal is strange and beautiful all in one. So, we're going to check her out, or him, the Australian platypus. Then we're going to hand it over to Malia, and we're going to check it out. Just goddesses, and we have Athena and Hecate, and we're going to learn about them.
well, there's a few gods interspersed in the mix because we'll cover some Greeks, and there's definitely gods in Greeks.
Okay, so we're going to get a bit of education. And after that, we're going to China. So we're going around the world again today. We're going to China, and we're going to look at the Longyou caves in China and the mystery of the Longyou caves. So, sit back, relax, get yourself a cuppa.
Luna, when you
Yeah.
finally get sponsors, you take us around the world so often. Please tell me you can get Dramamine to sponsor you.
I don't know. I'll have to work on that stuff. Would you like to sponsor me? Well, us. It's us, actually. We're working on that. All right. So, we'll start off with the platypus. We'll get through it. We've got a lot to get through today, so we'll start off and we'll do it. And I've just got to check the door to make sure there's no one waiting yet. And we'll say g'day to everybody. We got Tessa and Future Use and Joe. G'day, Joe. Oh, loyal Joe. And Polly's on the right. And we got beautiful things and this week's word. And I'm handing that over to Polly when he finally gets in the door. So where's my slides? I made slides. I set up and I was a good girl and did all my research. All right. So we're going to get some slides. What we got here, the platypus. All right. So check this out. So we have the platypus, people. What's so interesting about the platypus? Well, the platypus is one of two animals in Australia that are called monotrines, and they lay eggs, but they're mammals, and they feed their babies, so figure that one out. Everyone's always said, actually, when they first came to Australia and they took a platypus over to England and showed everybody one of the animals that we had here, they thought they were joking around and that they actually sewed it together out of all different animals. And they were shocked to find out that it was actually a serious animal. So we'll just flick through here. They come in different shades of colours, as you can tell. Their beak's really soft. So what do we got? Facts about this beautiful, strange animal. So it lays eggs. It lays 1 to 2 small eggs, and they're only about the size of your fingernail. They're like really, really tiny, and they're like snake eggs. Oh, hello, Lady Essence decided to join us. That's Lady Essence, our house cat. What, you want us to do a show on cats? All right, so they lay small eggs, 1 or 2, and they're a soft cell. They're actually carnivores, and they eat food at the bottom that hides at the bottom of the water and around the rocks. But the unique thing about this is they actually have an electrical current that runs through their beak. So when they're going around the rocks and feeling, they send that little electrical current out and it comes back, and that's how they know the food's there. A lot of sea animals have that, eh? So that's another interesting thing. So it runs on a frequency like that. Okay, so the bill detects the food. Then after they get the food, they gather it in their mouth, and they've got 2 little pouches on each side of their mouth, and they put all the food in there, and then they swim to the top of the water, and their mouth is like a grinding stone. So they sit there and grind it all up and then swallow it. And that's how they.
So you're telling me that this strange, marvelous platypus creature is actually part hamster too?
Yeah. It's part of everything, I think. It describes Australia well. Okay, so it grinds its food up in the pouches when it hits the top of the water, and then swallows it. Another thing about them too, they're very sensitive. They're like frogs. If there's anything wrong with the water in any way, they won't live there. And because of all the building that's happening in Australia and stuff like that, every time they disturb a habitat and the water goes just the slightest bit off from its normal, they'll move away. So they're kind of, yeah, you got to feel sorry for them, what we're doing. Anyway, what else have we got? It eats 20% of its body weight, and it's one of the only mammals that eats so much. It's so little, and it's like, where does it put all that food? But swimming around all day, yep, I understand that. I had that experience a few weeks ago. Anyway, they're solitary, and they only come together to mate, and then they have their babies and they run off, and so they live by themselves until mating time. And the male species, I should be showing you more pictures while I'm yarning my head off here. So there's one called a worm, so he'll eat it up and grind it and then go up the top and grind it and swallow it. The male species has a poisonous spur on the back of the legs, and when they're doing the mating thing and having a bit of a tussle between the boys, they'll use them to fight over the women. Lucky if human men haven't got one of them, mate, there'd be none left. What else have we got? Oh yeah, this is the last few amazing things. So the platypus lays its eggs in a burrow, and there's one coming out there. When the eggs hatch, it goes to the mum. Now it hasn't got milking teats, so what happens is through ding dong, hang on, we got someone at the door. Welcome, Polly. I've got to take this stupid thing off. Hang on. G'day, Polly. You muted.
Sorry, I was muted. G'day.
G'day. It's Saturday.
I was just admiring your platypi.
Platypi.
That's plural for platypus.
Yeah, what was another one? They don't actually know what to call multiple platypuses. You can call them. Oh, thank you, Lady Essence. You can call them platypuses, platypi, and there was another one that I can't remember. Excuse me.
Oh my goodness. We even got a meow out of her. Hello.
She wants attention.
Hi, lady. She's so, oh gosh.
She's complaining. Now she's going to.
Why do cats like to put their butts in our face?
I don't know. It's supposed to be.
I want to know that.
It's supposed to be.
Why do they always do that? Is it like a sign? You're my friend?
Yeah.
They're saying, kiss my ass.
No, because it's a vulnerable part of their body. So to turn their back on you like that means they trust you.
Yeah. So, or give you their belly. Mine, she likes to give me her belly. She's so silly.
Hey, it's weird because it's
little
a total
paws.
For humans.
So I was just going to say that just the name of the platypus makes it part octopus.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
I wonder if that means they're as intelligent as octopus. I bet they are. They seem like it. They're cute as could freaking be. Like, I mean, look at that face. They're adorable.
I hope they're not.
No, they're cute, hairless.
So,
the baby. Oh my gosh.
They're quite small.
They're small. Yeah, they come out real small.
They're so tiny.
A lot of people think they're bigger than they are. They're actually really small.
Aww. See, now that's perfect. I bet that house is just like the most amazingly cool, fresh. Perfect.
They remind me of groundhogs. In their burrow, I can see separate chambers. I know groundhogs, they don't lay eggs that I know of, but they have separate chambers, one for eating, one for sleeping, one for, nature.
Mm-hmm.
And a platypus is a lot smaller than a beaver.
Yeah, I think so. There's one there.
Oh.
Yeah, when they feed their babies, they don't have milking ducts, milking teats. They just have mammary glands, and the milk seeps out through the skin, so the baby just suckles on the fur. So she feeds the babies, and then they grow up, and she kicks them out.
And that's interesting about the platypi because, I mean, you just mentioned they lay eggs, but they're a mammal. Most mammals don't lay eggs. Even even dolphins and whales are mammals, and they don't lay eggs.
No, they have live
Humans
babies.
are mammals. They kind of lay eggs.
Man, we got lizards that have live babies and don't lay eggs, so why not have a mammal that does lay eggs? See how in your face Australia is? Now you can understand how our people are. You look at the animals, how weird they are, and all the weird stuff they do, and you can understand us a little bit more. The other thing.
You're not wrong.
Thanks, Polly. No. The most amazing thing about.
In the most endearing way possible.
Oh, I know. I love you too. What's true is true, and that's just how it is.
Platypus never lie.
The platypus, we have another animal like the platypus, but it doesn't swim in water, which is the echidna. It also lays eggs and is a mammal, and it's the same thing.
It is so cute too. Oh my goodness.
I know, I love them. And that's what I make
They're
the jewelry
fuzzy.
It's made out of the quills from the echidna. So that's what the platypus and the echidna are the same kind
of.
Are
birds not mammals? Birds are something else besides mammals?
Yeah, they're something else. They're more like lizards, man, really, when you think about it. Flying lizards.
Well, they're warm-blooded.
Yeah, I know. But they're on their own, eh, birds? I watched this movie that I think it was made in New Zealand or something. Anyway, these campers went out camping, and one of them got real paranoid and said, "Someone keeps watching us. There's something watching us," and they didn't believe him, and they thought he was really weird and stuff, right? Anyway, they wanted to kick him out. I think they did kick him out, and he come running back, and he goes, "There's something out there, I'm telling you." And they didn't believe him all the way through the movie, and at the end of the movie, sure enough, there was something out there. It was one of them giant birds from the prehistoric times, and they hunt him down later.
Whoa.
Yeah, good movie.
Wow. I see. I'd heard stories that people were seeing these velociraptors, right? So there's some tales in, what is it, like Chicago, O'Hare area? And somewhere in the central states, seems like same as Mothman territory. There's these people reported sightings of velociraptors. So Australia too, huh? I bet there's sightings in like Guatemala. I would believe they're in Guatemala.
Yeah, I believe somewhere all these
right?
Creatures, all the animals from before. There's one living somewhere hiding and survived. So the other amazing thing about the echidna and the platypus is that when you put a black light on them, they glow. And then native people glow too. So hang on, I've got a slide on that as well. Bioluminescent. So they're bioluminescent, right? A lot of our animals are bioluminescent. And some of other animals around the world are also bioluminescent. But I found it interesting that a lot of our animals are bioluminescent. And there are things that glow in the dark here in the rocks and stuff like that aren't just normal stuff. Anyway, we'll check out just the animals. So we've got the wombat here. They're excuse me, lady. We've got the wombat. That's like the koala. And I told you the story about the koala and the wombat. The change of the world came, and they were both the same animal. One went up a tree, one went underground. And the underground one was the wombat, and we did koala last week. So there's the platypus, bioluminescent. And in a minute, I'm going to you can hear what they sound like. They actually do make a noise. And yes, they make a weird noise like everything else that lives here. There's a little mousy rat, and I'm not sure if that's ours because we have all our mice marsupials, they all look like miniature kangaroos. We've got scorpions that glow in the dark, and when you go out in the desert, you can spot them that way. And I'll tell you something, I always thought it was the big ones that were poisonous, and I used to play with the little ones all the time, and it wasn't until I grew up that I found out it's the other way around.
Luna living on the edge.
Yeah, little possum. Them fellas, and there's one of our parrots. Our parrots and budgies apparently are bioluminescent as well. That's the Tasmanian devil. It's bioluminescent. That's the echidna. What I just showed you. There it is.
Interesting.
It's bioluminescent as well. So, and I just realised that I wear jewellery made out of the echidna, which means if I want to go on a black light, I'm going to be bioluminescent as well.
Yeah.
So, there you go. There's a little spiel what I wanted to share with you on some of our animals and how beautiful they are, and the fact that they're bioluminescent. So yeah, there you go. I had literature and that all on that, but we're going to save that for Malia because she's got and for the Longyou UKs. I don't want to bore you with the technical bioluminescent science version. The fact is they just glow in the dark, and that's how it is. So, okay.
So, what would be the advantage of glowing in the dark? Like I'm thinking about from like, because some animals can see ultraviolet.
Yep.
So, I'm thinking when you're in the dark, you probably don't want to be seen. So, what would be
that's what I was just thinking. Yeah. I don't know, unless something happens in the world, everyone got lost, so creator made it. Oh, I don't know, I'll fix that. We'll just make you glow, and then you can all find each other. I don't know.
Or maybe it does act as sort of a deterrent, because if it's dark out, why is it glowing? Kind of thing. Like the predator would be like, why is that?
Well, I don't know, because there was a time when we didn't have a moon, and I'll tell you something about Australian animals, and you can argue with yourself about the fact that animals grow and change. You can argue, but I don't want to argue. I'm just going to tell you something about Australian animals. They were exactly the same in the old days, but they were just bigger. So the echidna I showed you earlier, in my mob, we call him Longyou. He was a giant. So the king of all echidnas is called Longyou. He's the spiritual king. And I've actually felt him around, and you can smell him and hear him when he walks with you, and he's bigger than a car, like he's as big as a car. So that all the animals that we have that you see today were around a long time ago, Lilalu, but they were just giant. They just shrunk. Everything's the same. So there's no evolution or whatever. They just were the same animal. They just shrunk. So
yeah. Especially, like, I think they shrunk, and other variations adapting to their environment as they were moved were developed, or so I think that's what lends to the theory that we could find still existing today a nearest version, except in smaller form. So, like, take the platypus, for example. I think here we've got our nearest version, even like before badger, before beaver, before alligator and crocodile, even, because there's aspects of these animals, I think, in the platypus. And that platypus is like so much of what I've understood of it. She's very much in the forest. We would be like, okay, she's like the moose. She's like the protector of her territory. Like her ability to communicate through the water and on the land, I think, is just absolutely brilliantly fascinating. And like what Polly said, if she's related also to the octopus, wow. And it makes sense because the last part of her name, Puss, is means related to the octopus, right?
Is that what the cat was trying to tell us? Puss?
She has communication with platypus. Like, you live in, but here's the thing: we don't have any on, unless somebody brought one over. But I don't think that happened. We don't have any here in the U.S. But I don't know, how do I say that? You guys in Australia get to see these things in their environment, in their place. And like, geez, you get so many of the most ancient of creatures, which just lends to, again, was Australia a part of Lemuria? Was a part of the congregation of places connected to both Atlantis, but also Alexandria, the understandings of who these ancient gods and goddesses are or were at that time when we had different representations of it. One of the articles I have tonight actually is something I hadn't seen before. And it's talking about this ancientness of Alexandria and Greece and stuff, and what kind of chthonic gods. Totally cool. Ancient creatures.
Malia, sometimes I think they were here and something happened and they all left and went up there. That's what it feels like. And we just got left and forgotten.
Yeah.
When I look at stuff, I see things that shouldn't be in the bush, and I think, wow, this is older than old, and was it here first and then it left, and what happened because we were left? Yeah,
no, I think
find out, I reckon.
I think what we have of Australia is like that little piece of the hilltop that's left of what once was a huge piece of land.
Yep, I agree. And before we change the subject and move to gods and goddesses of Greek, I'm going to give you a listen to what a platypus sounds like.
I want to hear.
Yeah.
I bet it's like the sperm whale.
Ooh, you'll be surprised. All right, I'll get this going.
Yeah.
So it's part turkey as well. What a weird sound.
I say that because I'm underwater as well.
Is that just one? How many of them are there?
I don't know. It could be one, or they could be talking to each other. How's that for the weird?
There's communication going on there. Oh,
it sounds like mum and babies.
Oh my gosh, those little high pitched like make me jump every time. They're so cute. That's got to be the babies.
Is that recorded underwater?
Yeah.
I love it. Oh my gosh, I love this noise. It's so healing. Oh.
It's like a cross between a turkey and a frog.
Hey, why not? Hey, why not?
There's like everything in there. It's like the
See ya.
language of the universe. They've got it.
Was that played at like a normal
Wow.
speed or?
Oh yeah, Polly. I tried to. I actually did that. I tried it at different speeds, and it sounds the same, but
Okay.
but just a little bit slow. Yeah, I
It's
thought
a
maybe.
little bird-like too, I think, in a way.
Mm.
That's why I
Yeah,
guess
it is.
reminds me of a turkey a little bit, like a gobble of a turkey, but underwater,
Try
mixed with
making
a
that
frog.
All right.
It's a good thing they don't make that noise above ground, or they'd be really annoying.
Yeah, imagine 100 of them going.
Yeah, exactly. That'd be scary.
The cicadas are bad enough.
Right?
Yeah,
I want to make that my sleeping noise. Like somebody put that on a loop and I'll just fall asleep
You can
yeah,
just
in
put that
heaven.
video on a loop. It's easy.
yeah.
I'll learn the language of the universe with that right there.
We'll
Oh
have
my
you speaking
gosh.
platypus by the end of the show, Malia. We'll have
I'm
you
gonna
speaking
do it.
platypus fluently. You'll be speaking fluent platypus, or your money back.
Yep. It's good.
All right, before we go totally crazy.
No.
It's okay. I've been speaking it for years. I can teach you. It's all right.
Oh yeah,
Alright.
you're good at that stuff, Polly. You can translate for me.
It's so similar to Badger. I think it's gonna be really easy to pick up. So
Yeah,
I'm
you can teach me
I
Badger.
got
I
it.
don't know that one.
Yeah.
No.
I'm gonna do a TikTok channel that's ASMR and it's just me making animal noises.
You have to be on
Right?
camera for it, though.
Yeah, I'm gonna do it.
I'd like to
Look at this.
see
That almost made me download TikTok. Oh,
I like TikTok. I'm having fun with it.
can't you do it on an app I already have?
TikTok is gonna take over the world. It's proving that YouTube is so selective
Oh, it is.
with their audience and sharing and things, and it's proving all the other social networks that they're doing stuff. It's pretty fun. I've enjoyed it so far, and I just started kind of getting into it, and I was very much on the other side of the fence, like, never, I will never. And then I was like, oh wait, what are these guys doing over here? This is fun. It is. It's pretty neat. I like how it's consumer based too. So in a sense, like not consumer based, but what isn't in our world today. But meaning like it allows the handcrafters or the people making their own stuff to have a platform to show them making their own things and then like selling it. Enough people, basically their theories is enough people like it, then we'll give you the ability to sell it.
Yeah, cool.
And you got a little link there on your video and people are selling like crazy. It's kind of cool.
So, Malia.
I don't know. This is not an ad for TikTok. I'm just
I'm actually wary of it because I'm wary of the clock, and the clock goes tick tock, tick tock. So I'm wary of that.
everything with a grain of salt. No, everything with a bit of wariness because we're dealing in a world of big time AI. Like, so I've been binge watching Person of Interest for like a month now.
I got
I'm
one
into
thing.
the final season finally.
Oh, I love that. I used to call it interesting persons.
Oh gosh. Like,
I got one thing to say to AI: infinite circles.
it's blowing my mind. Like, if you haven't gone back and watched it since COVID, Sorry for the trigger word, but I think it's okay to say now.
I don't know.
But since the years of 2020, Person of Interest was filmed like 2014, 2015,
Yeah,
2016, those years. So long before this happened, right?
Yep.
They're displaying maps of the infection of the virus. They're talking about it.
it's on there. Ooh,
It's
okay.
on the show.
Just to get it in your mind a bit more, so you talk about it more and give it more energy and walk away. Yeah.
They're speaking about, Jules, what you were saying about prophetic stuff like that. That show knew some stuff. It was revealing some things that were coming, or
Wow.
what way we were headed. Yeah, big time.
Actually, when we had to sit down and we got locked down, lock up, I went back and watched all the old shows that I watched before, looking for all them things, and I saw them. I just, because you don't know what they are while you're looking at it, it doesn't trigger. But when you know what it is and you go back and have a look, you get it straight away. So I did something for you, Malia, so you can read.
Oh,
I went and made some slides, but I don't know if I made the right slides because I didn't talk to you before we did it. So I
oh,
did this for you.
oh! I like. Look
And
at
then
that.
and I tried to find authentic pictures. All right. So when I went and had a look at these ladies, there were a lot of modern day interpretations and beautiful pictures. Don't get me wrong, really beautiful stuff. But I realised, hang on a minute, she's one colour here, another colour here, she's tall there, short there. I want a real picture. So I went digging and went for history. So these are on ceramics. And this is Hecate. Is that how you pronounce
Or
it?
there's so many ways. She's catonic, so her name itself has many. Or they even call her like the goddess of many names
Oh, right.
because she has so many
Because none of that
representations. But yeah,
registers.
that's a famous base Greek one from
Yeah, there she is again, looking a bit more prettier.
holding her two torches. She's the bringer of light in the darkness. She holds
And
the
some of them tell some tales, like she must have had some adventures, and I'm sure you're going to tell us all about that. So I'll just
yeah.
chuck the pictures up.
Oh no, I love this. This is cool. Thank you.
That's okay. So that looks like an adventure, and she looks real cool, eh?
Yep, that's her with her dogs.
You're a three-headed dog, and I ain't scared of you.
Yep. That's where the creature in Harry Potter, this is the mythology
Oh,
it's
right,
based
gotcha.
off of.
Yes.
Yep.
And then I found that one, and she's with some others.
Hermes and Persephone and Demeter. Yeah, we'll hear a little bit about them tonight.
Yeah.
So in our culture, we call them creator beings. So we got creator, God, whatever you want to call it, right? The one creator. And then creator made little gods to help create things. And that's what I see them as. They're the creator beings from the old days. That's how we would see
I always thought Athena was associated with war.
Oh, we're getting there.
Yeah, we'll get there. Yeah.
You know, Holly.
Okay, sorry, I'm just listening. I'm going to mute
Holly,
for now.
Jumping ahead a little bit there, Polly.
One step ahead of us. No, you're right.
Polly had a little lamb. That's it. That's what I had for dinner. I'm not joking.
Oh, Barremu. If you watch the show, that's the secret password, Barremu. All right. So then I found this. That's her tree. What a family tree. Do you know about that?
Yeah. Oh, that's a good one. Yeah. Okay.
I'm
just kind of a quick snapshot of except see that is a little misleading.
Is it? I don't know nothing about this mob.
Yeah, because as far as we can tell, Hecate is one of the original goddesses, or that we call her Catonic. So before Gaia, before Uranus, before these ones. I'm not sure how to read it either. This
All right.
arrows kind of seem to go around in circles for me.
Now we're at Athena. This is Athena.
There's one, yeah, Athena.
This is where
That looks like it was taken the Parthenon in Nashville. It's on, and I know we did like a couple of weeks ago. Do you have a bucket list? And I said no. I wouldn't call it a bucket list, but it's a place that I would definitely visit in Nashville. The Parthenon. It's a replica of the temple, and it has a huge statue of Athena inside of it.
Wow. And there's another one.
Well, that last statue, she looks like a man in the last statue.
Actually, Polly.
That's totally a dude.
Yeah. I noticed.
I'm sorry. Maybe
No,
they had
you're
trans
right.
goddess. I don't know.
I noticed that last night when I was looking for pictures. I'm thinking, hang on a minute.
It would explain why they.
You know?
It would also explain the association with war. Maybe she was a man.
Maybe. Who knows?
Or maybe she's both. A lot of gods are both.
Yeah, can happen.
Yeah.
Well,
No, I just don't think that. I don't think in the times that we're looking at here, Athena and Hecate were not looked at as being, this beautiful entity as much as being a very dark and mysterious entity. And Athena, especially because she was so warlike, she passed as a man. She walked in the crowds of men. So, and in gods, she just kind of this no bullshit kind of feminine character who comes in and tells her dad, okay, yeah, I know you've just ranted and raved for the past half an hour, but this is actually how it's going to be. Okay. And Zeus is like, okay, yeah, listen to her. Because, she's seen as the goddess of wisdom too. And so a lot of like what comes out wisdom in warfare on top of it. So she's not the modern day like glamoury of Athena and Hecate is actually really depreciating of what she represents, because there's not much glamoury going on in the land of darkness, in the land of the underworld, or the land of that dimension which she is ruler of. So, and we'll see in some of these pictures, one of them especially, that there's just not a lot of that going on with her. I don't see that. And Athena too, so you're right. Yeah.
One thing I know, if anyone's ever had a battle in the street, the last thing you're worried about is the way you look. You want to get rid of all that extra stuff and go back to as plain as you can and build up a bit of muscle.
Right? Yeah.
So I can understand that. Things were different back then. It wasn't all talk. If you talk bullshit, you get hit in the head. So, yeah, it's not the place for pretty fine things.
Yeah.
So anyway, I'm going to hand this over to Malia and Jules because they know more about this stuff than me and Polly. And
I only know Clash of the Titans.
Oh, yeah.
Athena was the one that gave Perseus that robot owl. Which is the owl is always the symbol of wisdom too. So that's why they did that in the movie, the old movie from the 80s. It might even be older than that. It was Athena, I'm pretty sure, like up on Olympus in the heavens, made this like golden robot. Yeah, Bill. It was actually Bilbo. Like the same as Bilbo Baggins, but yeah.
Wow.
And you could get. I mean, I remember it because it was in cereal boxes and everything. It was a cool little. For its time in the movies, it was like stop animation or like kind of borderline claymation in some parts, but it was like ahead of its time. And yeah, Athena, she's often depicted with an owl because the owl is the symbol of wisdom.
So I'm going to move Malia and.
So I've dabbled.
All right. So there, Malia, I'll hand over to you and Jules, and knowledge us up, girl, and tell us about these ladies.
Well, here, let me share.
Yep. Share. I'll get rid of my screen.
You're fine. Okay.
Yeah, I got some funny shit to show you later. I'm sorry. I got some funny stuff to show you later.
Let me see.
Okay, there it is. Add to stage. There we go.
Okay, did that work?
Yeah, you can see it.
Okay. Well, where do we? I guess we'll start with Athena since that's where we were headed, anyways. So, in Greek religion and mythology, Athena, also referred to as Pallas Athena, is the goddess of wisdom, courage, inspiration, civilization, law, and justice, just warfare, mathematics, strength, strategy, the arts, crafts, and skill. Minerva is the Roman goddess identified with Athena.
Get down, Rowan.
Athena is also a shred companion of heroes and is the goddess of heroic endeavor. She is the virgin patroness of Athens. The Athenians founded the Parthenon on the Acropolis of her namesake city, Athens, the Athena Parthenos, in her honor. Athena's veneration as the patron of Athens seems to have existed from the earliest times and was so persistent that archaic myths about her were recast to adapt to cultural changes. In her role as a protector of the city, many people throughout the Greek world worshipped Athena as Athena Polias. The city of Athens and the goddess Athena essentially bear the same name. While it is not known which of the two words is derived from the other. Interesting. So I'm not going to read all of this because this is quite a big, long one. But just kind of a quick introduction there of what we're talking about. And Luna, you can, if you want to, post the links because this is just on academia, so it's a public open.
Oh yeah.
Can I just mention that Athena had a brother?
Yeah.
And he's also associated with war. His name's
Well,
Ares.
Well, his
Aries.
name's Apollo. Apollo ties in with a lot of stuff in our capital, potentially tying in with the next Antichrist, if you believe that stuff.
Right.
But Luna, if you will share your screen, I found some pictures of the Parthenon.
Cool. Yeah, I can do that. Oh, what have I done?
No, I just so you could share it.
Yeah, I'll put yours back up when you're ready, Malia.
Yeah, I mean, it's a replica of Athena's temple in Greece, located in Nashville, Tennessee. It's set up when it was built in like the early 1900s, and it was built before electricity actually came to town. So when it was set up, when you looked at it at the sunset, it was an exact replica of the temple in Greece.
Right. And that's it there. Cool. So, so we were talking about Athena, eh? Is that what we were talking about?
Yeah, I mean, it was.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, I mean we're good. I just wanted to show those pictures. That is one of the pictures that was from inside the Parthenon in Nashville. And it's if memory serves me correct, that statue is at least 8 feet tall. The owl that is on her shoulder, there was a god, well, I can't remember the actual name, but it's the It's where the whole Nike swoop symbol comes from. I will find the video and I'll drop it in Discord. It was an interesting video. One of the religious dudes that I watch, and I've been following this guy for years. His name's Trey Smith, and he's got a couple of very interesting documentaries that would be up all of our streets. He did one in the Midwest desert where he was actually looking for dinosaurs and T-Rex, and the stuff that he found so remotely is very interesting, and he did a breakdown on the Parthenon as well.
Are you thinking of Achilles, Jules?
No,
for the Nike thing?
not, but Artemis and Apollo, I always thought they were the twins. But and this is where there's so many Greek gods and goddesses, and when you have so much information like a sponge, you kind of sometimes confuse yourself.
It just ends up being all Greek.
It's all Greek. I had a Greek friend, and we have big yarns about Aboriginal culture and Greek stuff. And man, that's why I'm glad you brought this up. And so I can get educated on it. I can go back and have a yarn to him. Guess what? I was talking to my friend about I wouldn't say little G's to him because they're their gods. So, all right, what do we got here, Malia?
Okay, so I'm going to go on because this gets interesting here. So, what the hell? Why not? Let's do it.
I mean, so before you start, Malia, I have to say things or I forget. Even the popularity of Athena is associated with the tarot deck. But when we get to astrology and everything, we can talk about that there.
Yes, let's do it. I like that route. Yes. Totally.
I mean, I'll let you continue. But I have that thought to add in.
Okay. So, origin traditions of Athena. The Greek philosopher Plato identified her with the Egyptian deity Neith, which they say was worshipped at the city of Sais, located at the delta of Egypt, as the founder of the city. She was the war goddess and huntress deity of the Egyptians since the ancient pre-dynastic period, who was also identified with weaving. The ancient Greeks believed that Athena had visited many mythological places, such as Libya's Triton River in North Africa, and the Phlegraean, I can never say that one. Does somebody know how to pronounce it? Phlegraean. That's as close as I'm going to get. Plain. Scholar Martin Bernal created the controversial Black Athena theory to explain this associated origin by claiming that the conception of Neith was brought to Greece from Egypt, along with an enormous number of features of civilization and culture in the 3rd and 2nd millennia. Athena, as the goddess of philosophy, became an aspect of the cult in classical Greece during the late 5th century BC. She is the patroness of various crafts, especially of weaving, as Athena Ergane was honored at at festivals such as Kalshea. The metalworks of weapons also fell under her patronage. She led battles. Athena Promachus, or the warrior maiden Athena Parthenos, as the disciplined strategic side of war, in contrast to her brother Ares, the patron of violence, bloodlust, and slaughter, the raw force of war. Athena's wisdom includes the cunning intelligence metis of such figures as Odysseus. Not only was this version of Athena the opposite of Ares in combat, it was also the polar opposite of the serene earth goddess version of the deity, Athena Polias. Athena appears in Greek mythology as the patron and helper of many heroes, including Odysseus, Jason, and Heracles. In classical Greek myths, she never consorts with a lover, nor does she ever marry. earning the title Athena Parthenis. A remnant of archaic myth depicts her as the adopted mother of Erechtheus or Echthonius through the foiled rape by Hephaestus. Other variants relate that Erechthonius, the serpent that accompanied Athena, was born to Gaia. When the rape failed, the semen landed on Gaia and impregnated her. After Erechthonius was born, Gaia gave him to Athena. Though Athena is a goddess of war, strategy, she just liked fighting without purpose and preferred to use wisdom to settle predicaments. The goddess only encouraged fighting for a reasonable cause or to resolve conflict. As patron of Athens, she fought in the Trojan War on the side of the Achaeans. So the mythology. Any comments?
Interesting. I'm finding this really interesting. I didn't know none of this stuff.
I was going to comment on something. The idea that the siblings Athena and Ares are both associated with war. So, who is their father again? That's one question. But it's interesting because they've kind of basically given war a duality, like a feminine side and a male side. Like Athena's side is kind of the more like calculated, logical strategy tactics kind of stuff, whereas Ares is more just like friggin' rage, violence, and impulsiveness. And I find it interesting that it seems like it's almost like the male female so-called, what we would normally think of male and female. It's almost been reversed in this sense when it comes to war. Like it's usually women are more emotionally responsive than men are. And here we have Athena acting like the man in war and Ares acting like the woman. And I'm not trying to be chauvinistic here, so I hope I don't sound that way. But usually females are more like emotionally impulsive. And I'm not saying they rage and they're violent, but I've seen it. But I've seen that in men too. But usually it's the cold logic is usually associated with it as a very masculine property. And so it seems like the roles have been reversed here in the aspects of war, which is, I don't know why they did. Why is that? Or am I just reading this wrong?
No, it's interesting what you're saying, but you got to remember back then was a different time. And this is what I was thinking while you were saying all that. There was a time where women we didn't rule the world, but the world was matriarchal. So.
Well, it's dual.
And then now it's patriarchal. I've got something to say. When you said the story about Gaia, you said she fell on her, right? And then she got impregnated. And when you said that, Malia, I just saw something totally different than a being. I actually saw the mother and energy coming. Yeah, anyway, that's my head. Very interesting. I'm finding this really interesting. Thank you.
Yeah. Well, first off, just to address what Polly said there, I feel like, well, to answer your question, the father is Zeus, if I'm recalling correctly. Oh, what did Walter say? Because I can't see that.
Athena is the best a man has among the gods. Right.
Yeah.
Thank you for that.
That's a good way to say it, Walter. Thank you for tuning in. But also, I was going to say that we're coming from a really specific personality type too, that Athena is. So there's a level of wisdom within her, there's a level of justice within her, and there's a level of understanding. So like you said, with the difference between her and Ares, where Ares is very impudent and very narcissistic, even in this very jumping to conclusions and full flame rage ahead. So I think what it's also giving us a picture of is that in the masculine sense of full war, this is kind of what we get. This is what it ends up with in a sense, with that specific personality type. So what is that? That's kind of like Taurus and Leo right there.
Oh, funny you say that. I'm just sitting here thinking, I've had
It's
times in
very
my life.
Taurusy Leo energy, right?
I've had
Yeah,
times in
and
my life where I've had to. I just want to say this to answer Polly's question, maybe, because we could do a whole show just on what Polly was
right.
talking
Yeah,
about. I heard saying that men go to war and they just do their bit, right? But when women go to war, we annihilate everything. There's something in women, and I think it's the protector children part, that when you open that up and we've got nothing, we've got to fight for everything, we're more vicious and thorough than a man could be. I don't know. That's just what I was thinking. I
right.
guess, yeah.
Well, and so to balance that energy out, on the other side, we have Libra with some Pisces energy in there. But high Libra is in balancing the scales, equality, justice, the wisdom. All of this is coming in with the Libra sign. And the Pisces is that water balancing all of that energy into a combative way to come up against fire. Because really, Aries is coming off full fire, full flames, right? So the only thing that's going to come up against that is water. So she comes about her answer to solutions in negotiation. Some say that she's the mother of negotiation. She's the beginning of this, right? In philosophy, we would understand that, okay, Athena went first to attempt to negotiate with Odysseus, and then to the other gods who were having pity parties over what was happening with these worthless humans and whose side everybody was on. Um, but Athena as a goddess of war, I think also we have another example in Joan of Arc, which we kind of get the same thing going on. This isn't all females. Yes, a lot of females have a weakness in emotional response, but not all females are that way. In fact, when we see more warrior like females or females who are not afraid when it comes to doing what it takes to fight in a battle, um, then we have a different kind of metering of justice, shall we say, kind of sense. There's less of an emotional response, is what ends up happening, right, Luna?
Yep.
I
Well,
just
it's different
I
times.
just never thought of I'd never thought of looking at war as having a yin and a yang. That's
Oh,
basically
it
how I can
absolutely
sum up
must.
what like this is what I've learned so far through
Yeah.
this, which is fascinating to me because I don't see very many, women behind the desks doing all the tactics and strategy for any of the wars going on right now.
But haven't you heard that saying, Polly? Behind every great man is an even greater woman.
Mhm.
Or a
And
couple.
shall we say, like in the military covert ops or this kind of thing, you're going to find a high percentage of women doing those jobs. And older women, too, between 40 and higher.
Hey,
Yeah,
nothing.
right,
Hey,
Walter. So
nothing.
there's that, and there's a sense of this whole, like, that's where I think the Western mindset gets caught up on, because having not learned or not known the true balance of femininity and masculinity. What positions and roles and different things are the feminine most suited to the feminine energy, and this opposing side, or yin and yang, as you might say, of the masculine and their roles and their points of needs and things that they attend to. Now, in Luna's culture, in the Australian culture, that's still a lot more prevalent than what we have in our Western world over here. We have very little of that. We have feminism coming across as something that is kind of really unfair. Um,
Balance.
yeah, and then we have on the other side the chauvinistic, very arrogant masculine that is coming across very entitled, and um, they're just not understanding what their roles are, what they fit into the best. And in walking in that, the Maya would say, like, in the femininity is medicine. Okay, in seeing the spiritual side of the person, so the auras and this kind of thing. Not that a masculine entity or person would not be able to see the auras, but that it's more suited that the feminine is operating in this, in the fullness of it.
I meet a lot of spiritual men and they don't feel they're spiritual compared to women. And I said, no, don't do that. It's you see different. I did a test with my partner. One night we had energy come in the house. I said, can you see that energy? He goes, yeah. I said, what do you see? And I told him what I saw. And what I realised is that the way females see is more detailed and pretty, and there's a word for it, but it's more animative, like heaps. And for the men, it's the same thing. It's just detailed down, it's just what it is, black and white. There's not all this extra stuff that we see. That's all I noticed. I need to tell you, in our culture, there's a story that Creator was female, and Creator wanted to create things, and to do that, when Creator made the world, realised that the masculine part of her had to create this world because of all the energy that the masculine has. This world needed to, obviously, just look around, we need that energy. So she kind of took the male out of her, which is Creator that we see today, the Father Creator, and he created everything here and created creator beings. That's our story. It's just cut and shut of the male-female stuff. And we have male and female business, so we're very much male and female. It doesn't cross over in our ways, but Creator is male and female, and was female first, and let the male part of her create, because it had the right components, the right ingredients, the right medicine. So yeah, I just want to chuck that in. That's why I find it's fascinating, because I'm saying the same kind of stuff, but just more elaborate.
Yeah. Well, and we're talking to Athena being goddess of war, what she's most well known for. And in that relation, there's a lot of death around war, right? So I think that's where the main correlation to Hecate comes in, between Athena and Hecate. Because a lot of people say, well, Athena came out of the idea or understanding of what Hecate is, the triad goddess. So should I keep reading in here, or should we go on to Hecate? Because we're an hour into it. And I'm wondering if we could go to a quick break before we go on.
We sure can. Okay. We can do a break. And what I'm going to do, because while you were reading, I went and had a quick break. So I'm going to show you some stuff, so you can go and have a quick break.
Okay,
and it's
cool.
It's time for the word of the week and beautiful things. So Okay, I have a banner for the word of the week. Oh, where are we? I tried to do it professionally. Ding ding. This is the word of the week. The word of the week is sincerity. I hope I spelled it right. Sincerity. Be sincere. Be your true self. Be who Creator made you to be, the best that you can be, and being sincere in all the things you can do. Are you there, Polly?
Yep.
Sincerity. You know what, bro? When I looked at that word, what's the first word that pops in your head?
Well, I can't answer that question honestly because I've already looked it up.
Okay, hit me with it.
But I would have to say genuine. Either genuine or honesty. Which is
Genuine.
ironically the first two words I read when I looked it up.
Cool.
But
Genuine.
it does have it does have it does have other meanings, and it's a very old word.
It's an old word. Oh, the English language.
It's from like the 1500s.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
1530s. It's really old,
Oh,
and it comes from Latin.
Yep.
I'll tell you later.
Okay.
Unless you want me to do it now, I can do it now if you want. But
yeah, do it now.
Yeah, okay.
We're doing the word of the week.
So, yeah, this is cool. I love looking up words. So, sincerity is a noun, but sincere is an adjective. So, they're kind of they kind of hold the same meanings, and they kind of come from the same root word, which is from Latin called sincerus. And so referring to of things, that would mean whole, clean, pure, uninjured, unmixed. And then figuratively, it could mean sound, genuine, pure, true, candid, or truthful, unadulterated by deceit.
Funny, because the first word I saw was sin, sin. And then I thought of sincerity, and I thought, hang on a minute, is this cleansing of the so-called sin? Carry on, sorry.
Oh, weird. Okay.
So it's been a weird week.
It certainly has. Probably because of the lunar eclipse.
It happened
on Monday.
It wasn't me.
Yeah, it wasn't me either. I didn't even see it. So regarding the word sincerity, there has been a temptation to see the first element as Latin sign, which means without, but there is no etymological justification for the common story that the word means without wax, sincere.
Yeah, right. Without wax. Did you say wax?
Yeah, so that kind of makes sense. Like if it's sincere, it doesn't have any glossy coating on it like wax would be, right? So this is why I love looking up words like this. Where was it? Okay, so there is without wax. That's not what it means, even though it kind of does. Like the word sincere kind of does mean that. Okay, now I'm getting lost here because it's talking about other words. It can also I use this thing called I think it's called Etymology Online or something like that. It's an app on my phone, and it's like you just type in any word and it gives you like the oldest history known.
For the week. Wow, that's good. Hear that, people? That's good to have.
So one word that they didn't put in here, which I haven't read yet, and I'm really shocked actually, because there is another word. Sincere means real.
Right.
Like to me, that's what it means. Real.
Real. Yeah.
Are you being real?
Yeah.
So but I mean, all of those, like pure, that's real. Unmixed, that's pretty real. What honesty is real. Genuineness is real. So maybe I should look up real.
Really?
No, seriously, if you get me
Really?
started, I will literally talk
No.
for days about, and one
Yeah,
word will just lead to the next word, and we'll
yeah.
just keep going forever.
Well,
So it's good
that's
that you
great.
have one word a week.
Yeah. I thought that for 1 word a week, that's enough to tackle. There's a lot of stuff out there.
Right.
So cool.
So another definition, just one more, another definition of real, and it's also the definition of sincere, is free from pretense or falsehood. I think I said that already, but I mean, that's basically the definition of real when you're talking about like a person,
Yep.
right?
Yep. And their character and depth of soul. Yep.
And we all should be sincere people because there's nothing wrong with you.
No, we're all beautiful. Yeah. Creator made us so. We're like a symphony orchestra, eh, Polly? That each of us are little instruments, and we all play, and it's a beautiful song. And if one of those instruments are missing, you can hear it and tell. That's what I feel like we are. Okay.
Yeah, that's a good analogy. I mean, could you imagine though if like everybody on the planet could play an instrument and we all started playing the same song at the same time?
Yeah.
We'd
We
move,
get lost.
yeah,
We're onto something.
we'd probably move the moon.
We probably would. As long as we weren't all drunk, I think it'd work. I'm just thinking of a Friday night, all week it would be all pleasant, but come Friday night, everyone's had a drink and it's like, oh my God, let's have music. All
It's
right.
Friday night
So
here.
thanks for that, Polly. Sincerity. That's the word of the week. Carry it round because maybe we need it for the week coming. What was last week's word? Balance. Yeah, we had a weird week, so there you go. Balance out your sincerity. Hey, we'll join all these words up at the end and see what it says and make a story.
It was so weird. This week was just weird. You're right.
Yeah, I should have put that at the front.
I wonder if it means next one is going to be, you know what? So, being that the first week we can theme as weird, I wonder what the second week is going to be.
Hey.
I think it's a preview of the year, too. I think we're going to get a preview of the year in our second week. Oh, I like that.
Time for beautiful things. So there's a time in your life and a moment in your day and a second in your that you've got to take time to look at beautiful things just to keep yourself functioning as a beautiful being. So let's look at some beautiful things. I'm going to pump it up in the there we go. Oh, I couldn't resist them. I wish I had a fence like that. I don't like fences, but I'd have a fence like that. It's inviting. You wouldn't want to break into it. You'd want to knock on the door and just go, can I come to the other side? I don't want to destroy your fence. Another one of them. Feel free to comment, anybody?
Oh, that's pretty.
Yeah, right. Imagine all the stairs that you know painted like that. You go for a walk up the road and you see stairs at the station, stairs at the shop, stairs at the park, and they're all painted like that. What a beautiful world. There, Polly.
Oh, right on. Yeah.
That's where
That's my
Polly
house.
That's Polly's house. Hi.
How did you find my place?
I looked it up on from Google Maps.
I just
so
rent
cute.
I just rent the cap at the top. I don't really live in the whole thing.
Oh, right, I get it. It's a bit ego. Plenty of shroom. Plenty of shroom in there. It's beautiful, but we need to do this again, people. When we build things, add the beauty back into it. I found these fellas. I thought they were quite funny.
Yeah, those are the neighbors.
They're the neighbours.
They're always pissed off too. I don't know why.
I like the one leaning on the chair. Look at him. Hand him a bourbon. No, he just looks cool.
Look like they make good dancing partners.
Yeah, right. You'd just like to have them in a room. You wouldn't feel so lonely. Oh, look. I found more of these. I found the butler.
Oh my God, I know how those dressers were invented. Somebody said, no, the one before that. Somebody said, can you make me some close dressers?
Oh, wow.
I love them. I love them.
And that's what they got. I meant, oh, never mind. My accent.
Now imagine having a sink like that. You wouldn't want to wash up on it or nothing, would you?
Actually, I did imagine having a sink like that once.
I love that. I love those colors. That's one of those resin sinks, right?
Yeah. Imagine that would, man, you'd want to wash up all the time. I'll do the washing up just so you can stand there and look at it.
In my sink, the colors actually moved, so I couldn't get any washing up done.
Oh, right.
You know what I would do? Like, I would totally, where that yellow line is, I would have actually grooved it out and made it a stream of the running water that went around.
Like that. I might chuck them
Wouldn't
in.
that be cool? And like little rocks in there.
Yeah,
and fish. You could put fish in it.
And the fish would just clean your dishes for you?
Yeah.
Like just eat all the food off your dishes?
Yes.
Yeah, that'd be great.
I think so.
No, Polly, the food fed the fish. It was bioorganic.
Right. Yeah, it's like aquaponics, but it's just a dishwasher.
Exactly.
All right.
And you just add plants. I mean, it's they're waiting for it. Was so perfect.
That's some old world architecture.
That's gorgeous.
I haven't done a show on old world architecture, but I absolutely love old world architecture. And the reason I haven't done a show on it is because everyone does it. Everyone, like there's major people that do architecture, old world architecture shows. Flintstones, yeah. Maybe I'll do one, but it's just because they're beautiful. So, all right, that's for the fellas. But I could see some ladies wanting to ride that.
Wow.
I wonder what it's like for. Oh, it might not even be petrol. Look at the wheels.
That's like what Dracula's wife would.
Is that our new time machine?
I think I'd only be able to drive that in reverse.
With flames coming out the front.
Well, it's got too many wheels for me because I haven't got.
Can you imagine trying to steal the hubcaps off that?
Can you imagine trying to make hubcaps for that?
Imagine one popping off. You're going up the highway and it pops off. It'd be like a weapon, that one. You could cook on it and everything. It's from a movie. Oh, there you go. There's another beautiful. I wish I had one of them in my yard. Imagine the colour therapy coming off that.
Mm-hmm. I love it. That's pretty.
Oh, look at that. That's beautiful.
Oh,
yeah. Beautiful stuff. Oh, there you are. There's something moving real.
There's the pretty lady.
Yeah, gold and black. Look at that. Did you know leeches in Australia are actually gold and black? When you hold them up to the light, they've got gold stripe and a blue.
And speaking of animals who glow in the dark, leopards too.
Oh, yeah, I didn't go that deep. I did have articles and everything. I thought, no, I'll just show you quickly because
their little noses. I've seen it.
Wow. Might have been in the time before the moon.
Oh, my goodness, look at that belly.
I know.
Hang in there, kitty.
Yes, I gotta rub it.
I find them fascinating. We don't have. Oh, we actually do have deer now in Australia because up the mountains behind me where I live, there was a deer farm and they all escaped and now they're all over the place. And I actually saw a white deer. Not like that, though, but different. Hey, there's something. He looks really cool, man. He looks like he'd make a good friend, eh? He'd be wise and funny.
I'd always be like, do the eye thing, man. That's crazy. Do it again.
I can't take you seriously.
What's over there? Tell me what's over there without moving your head.
What's behind it? You look behind and I'll look in front. Oh, look at that. Notice something?
Yeah, David Bowie.
Yeah. in his new life.
Oh.
Yeah, beautiful, eh? I'm lucky I don't live in America to have too many pets.
Oh, that one's just showing off.
Yeah, eh?
He knows he's being photographed.
Yep. Hey, give him a phone and he'd be on number one on social media.
Follow my TikTok.
Oops, just jumped it. Look at that. I couldn't resist that. Man, that could be a caption.
Oh,
Hey, how cute is that?
they are so cute.
The needs of the many outweigh the needs of the one.
Oh, look at him. He's probably highly poisonous, but he's so cute.
I know. I was going to say, look, all he has to do is stick his tongue out and you're dead. Open wide.
Just because they're beautiful things doesn't mean you won't kill you.
That color says don't eat. Just like these. If you ever see these growing in the wild, do not put them in your mouth.
We call it fairy floss.
Poison.
Yeah, fairy floss. You call it cotton candy. We call it fairy floss. Pink fairy floss. Yeah, yeah, don't eat these things.
No. Don't eat.
And that's the last one. And I just want to show you in the old days. I'm going to have an old days show you how beautiful they decorated everything. Look, it was just
right.
Everything was handmade.
It took so much to make one of these.
Yeah, I don't know if people realise, but when you look at something beautiful, your frequency actually rises. So in the old world, everything around you was beautiful, and it just added to your well-being of having everything at a high frequency besides nature, the stuff we create. Okay, there you go. There's beautiful things. I wish I had a sound thing. I hope you enjoyed that. Where are we? Let's go back to us. 1 moment. Get this off the screen. Here we are. All right. Oh, wrong one. Driving this thing. All right. So, does anyone need a break, or you want to keep going? What about you people out there? Do you want a small break?
Do you want a break, Luna?
Oh, I'm right. What about you two?
All right. I'm all right.
Feel good.
I'm already broken.
Same here.
So, all right, we'll keep going. All right. There we go. And I'm going to pop this in because we're coming out at the end of the show, the second half. If anyone wants to join us and they've got something to say that's interesting or educate us about anything that we've shown tonight, we are quite welcome. So, all right, back over to you, Malia. What do we got here?
All right. So this is just, I'm going to jump ahead a little bit over here to something I found that I thought was interesting about Hecate. So this is a paper on the iconography of the triple-headed Hecate from the museum in Smederevo, Prilog. Something in Russian, I believe. So,
hey, actually, I looked at that article when I was in another language, and I thought, good luck with reading that, Malia.
I know, right? I know. I'm like, ooh, here we go. I had to dig to find the English too. So, we presented in this work the head of votive statuette of Hecate that is nowadays housed in the museum in Smederevo. Its iconographic characteristics were studied in order to establish its possible origin and complete appearance of the statuette. The starting point for further study was the opinion of earlier scholars that it might have originated from the territory of the Roman province of Macedonia. Do you know what that means? It could be of the Library of Alexandria, or even more ancient than that. and that it was most probably imported, which means that it was probably moved at some degree. If it was a holy relic or part of a temple and or something like that, then it was moved. Maybe, which is totally the feeling I get when I look at it. Wait till you see it. Oh my gosh.
There was a
Okay.
time back then where they wanted to hide all that stuff, so they would have wanted to take everything. So because they burned and
Yeah.
wrecked everything.
Especially out of the temple, a holy relic that was believed to be about the goddess. Yeah. Big deal. So, also, the assumed appearance of the statuette, according to earlier opinions, was the representation of the deity with triple body and 6 arms. However, the comparison with the closest iconographic analogies of the representation of the triple Hecate, known as triple-bodied, resulted in conclusion that Hecate from the museum in Smederevo has exceptional similarities with the iconography of triple Hecate, known as blah 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 blah. These are representations of Hecate with 3 heads or 1 head and 3 faces placed on a column, thanks to distinctive details of iconography of the mentioned group, whose specimens mostly come from the islands of Delos and Rhodes and from Athens. We came to the conclusion that iconography of triple-headed Hecate from the museum in Smederevo could originate just from these models. This is suggested by the following characteristics. On all mentioned examples and on our statuette as well, the faces are modeled in pronouncedly different manner, showing diverse mental states. Also, all specimens have distinct hairstyle, with highly placed plates, which are covering ears and falling freely on the lower section of the column, and 1 joint vessel. According to these characteristics, they distinguish from other iconographic examples of triple Hecate of the type. Considering, if only Walter would hear, he could read it for me. Considering everything mentioned above, we could confirm the opinion of earlier scholars that it is the object which was the most probably imported from some important center of the Hellenistic art. So here's why Luna said, good luck reading that.
The representation of the 3 of them, is that young, middle, and old, young age, middle age, and old age, or does it represent 3 personalities, or?
It's the triple crossroads. It's very mythic.
So you got 3,
the 3 crossroads, or she's the triple goddess, the triple-faced goddess.
And if we're talking lunar deity, it's the mother, the maiden, and the crone.
Yeah, that's what I was saying, yeah.
It's very heady.
Very heady.
Yeah. So those are the 3 faces. Ooh, spooky, right?
If I was a bloke, I'd probably go, yeah, that's right. That's women have 3 faces. You never know what they're going to say. Is that right, Paul?
So
that's where the saying "keep your head on a swivel" comes from.
All right, keep going.
Luna, do you get any vibes when you see this photograph? Because I did. So I'm wondering if you get a psychometry read on it.
On it, I'm not sure. It's very foreign. Because is she magic lady?
Very.
Yeah. Yeah. Could even be what we were talking about before, Malia, the 3 kinds of people.
I've met people with way more than 3 faces.
All the cats are joining us today. And she looked like that. She looks, yeah. I don't know. I'd have to see it in real and touch it and see. I don't know. But she's an energy. Was she actually a real person? Like, Or was she energy person? She was a real being like you
She's
and
a
me.
goddess, so we don't know. 'Cause she's the she's the Hecate, the goddess of the underworld. So I get a lot of like, this came out of the water. This was in the water for a very, very long time.
Right. So that means it was there.
Um,
Flood coming and got flooded. Yeah.
mhm.
Ah. And is it big? Because I imagine these gods were
I
giants.
I think it's like the head of a column or the head of a statue.
Yeah.
So
They would have been in the giant days. They would have been giants, eh?
right,
Yeah.
right. So, and there's the three faces, which are so creepy. Like, I don't even like to look at it for very long. To me, it's like,
It is creepy.
that's the underworld right there. Like, they should have left that under the water.
It
But
looks
then
like
we
there's a
wouldn't
lot
be
of
able to see it.
damage.
Yeah, I think that's from being underwater for so long.
Yeah.
So has anyone ever tried to like maybe try to use some kind of software to reconstruct what it should have looked
What
like?
they really look like.
I bet they have. You know, this
That
is
would be
originating. This is coming out of Serbia. This is a place in Serbia museum that has this.
There's a pyramid in
So,
Serbia too, eh?
I don't think that would work, Ollie. Because look at our brother Jesus, right? They made him blonde hair, blue eyes, and white eyes, and where he lived, he had brown skin. So if
yeah.
they generated a image, it would change anyway. Like maybe the image we're looking at is a changed image of their actual original. Who knows? You know,
Well, you know how they reconstructed the face of the Sphinx with using photography and computer software. They reconstructed with the face, and that's why they were able to prove that it wasn't. Everyone thought it was this pharaoh, but it wasn't. The face on the Sphinx is African. It's not.
Yeah,
It's
that's
not.
right.
It's not Egyptian. It's
Yeah,
it's
that's
more
right.
like. So, and they proved it with like the angles of the jaw and stuff. It was crazy what they did. So they could surely do that with this.
So
And that was back in the 90s.
who come first, the Egyptians or the Greeks?
I think the Egyptians. Pretty
Okay.
sure. But I don't think
The
the Egyptians were
Egyptians.
first by any means. I think there was
No,
probably many, many more before them.
before them. Hmm.
Before Syria, before all of them.
Yeah.
Yes, the original head was a dog on the Sphinx. I was going to say that, Walter.
Some people think it was a lion because it would have been aligned to Leo at that point in the equinox or
they knocked the nose
the
off me.
precession.
Yeah. How many times?
Yeah, it does kind of look like a cat.
Only conquerors
Yeah.
go along and go, I want to change this giant statue. Us little people go, just leave it the way it was, be sincere and leave it at the original truth.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, keep going, Malia. Oh, this is really cool.
Well, so I found a few other kind of interesting articles. Again, they're quite lengthy. That's where my
Okay.
hesitation is. But to find good articles on Hecate can be kind of difficult. These are good for like if you guys want to go back and read them for yourself or something. We'll add them in the description. I can send, or I sent you the links.
Reminds me of our Dreamtime stories. They're quite lengthy and they got all these characters in them and you get confused.
Right? And then it's just like, okay, where was I again? And I pulled these out because I found, okay, that's interesting. It helps kind of give understanding on that, right? But then there's also this one here, which is a paper on the fleece, the golden fleece, and it being a magical object.
That was,
Yeah.
yeah, I know they went on an adventure and they had to get the golden fleece.
Right.
And was it a giant one? Like, because again, you go the further you go back in time, the bigger things get. Was that fleece giant, or was it like
Well, they're saying it was probably a purse or a sacral covering type thing, so like a loincloth or something. A special covering for the male.
Oh, yeah, I get you.
Like underwear
I
kind of
get
thing.
We had that too.
But with like a sense of spiritual covering too, like a shield in
Yeah,
or
gotcha.
armor.
Cool.
So, but that matches kind of the Maya and how they would wear their clothing. It matches some other cultures as well, Native American, that would wear a fleece type thing. And even like if we think about it, we have representation in Scottish and the tribes there having a cover or a shield type,
Yeah.
covering their
Yeah.
area, their sacral area.
Yeah.
So yeah, so they're saying that's basically in this paper what they're saying is the golden fleece having to do with the myth of Medea and Hecate.
Yeah. Wow.
So it's a long paper, 124 pages. We're definitely not going to be reading
So
through that,
it's
but
not a History Channel. Or,
yeah, just kind of pulling some good ones because, like Walter always says, when you go looking for information about Hecate in today's world, especially online, you're going to see witches, witches, Wiccan, witches,
Right,
witches, witches, and these awful representations of who she
really was.
is to them.
Yeah. That's what I noticed when I was doing the slides, and where I saw all these other beautiful pictures, but they all presented that, and I'm thinking, no, that's today's
None of it.
representation. I need pictures
Exactly.
of, the old pictures,
Hmm.
and it tells a different story. Hey,
Yeah.
so
Yeah. Very different. Yeah.
that's what I was going to say before. When we create something in this day and age, we're doing it with the mind of this day and age, so it's not going to be
Right.
created like it was before,
Yeah.
unless you totally do everything the same. Um, even when we make
Yeah.
traditional stuff, I'm still wearing clothes that they wouldn't be wearing the clothes that I'd be wearing, or eating the lunch, or having me cup of tea like I am making it. They would have had totally different stuff and been on a totally different frequency. So,
Yeah.
yeah, all right.
So there's kind of as much as I could pull there for giving an introduction of Athena and Hecate. That I'll be going into more detail with Walter tomorrow on the Saturday part of our show.
Awesome.
And
Okay.
yeah, we'll see where those trails go because that should
So
be fun.
that's a good window to plug, my friends here. So Maria and Polly and Jules, plug your channel, plug your radio show. So Malia, you can catch Malia and Walter on YouTube.
At Walter Bosley channel.
I should have it all.
On Saturday nights. We do shows Saturday nights and Wednesday nights. Tuesday and Friday, right? No. Yeah. No. Sunday, Tuesday and Sunday. No. Thursday and Sunday in Australia.
It's all
I'll
right.
get there.
Weekend and
You gotta
Saturday.
go backwards and then forwards.
None of that counts. I could get yourself over there.
It'll be there one of those days.
Polly, and we'll catch our brother Polly on, is it IBN radio, Polly?
Polly's muted. He might be away.
Polly might be somewhere else. And Jules, we'll see. Jules has got a YouTube
I
channel.
am hoping to have something coming up on the bitter and sweet in the near future. I have lots of small projects are occupying my time.
So keep an eye out.
But I am keen on part 2 with Walter and Malaya, because in my studies, I mean, Athena was the Greeks, but there's other pantheons and other beliefs, and Athena was other people in different pantheons.
Yeah, it should be kind of fun to see. I have some questions for him.
And I mean, and it's one of the biggest things that the owl of it's always about owls, Minerva. Even the occultists use basic use today would be the high priestess.
Yeah, let's get into the tarot part.
The high priestess is known could be Isis in the
Which is
Egyptian
Hecate.
pantheon.
Yeah.
The high priestess, I'm still kind of my studies. I'm still learning tarot. There's a lot to. I mean, we're talking like 50 some odd cards. There's a lot of information to uncover. But with the major arcana, the high priestess is the second card, and she comes after the magician. And so the high priestess is one of that has an understanding of as above and so below, the two columns, the black and white. She's essentially an invisible third column. She's in between both. She's able to have one foot in either world.
Cool. So,
I mean, I don't have a wealth of information because there's so much out there, and there's so many different pantheons that I'm trying to figure out. All right, this is definitely Greek, and this is definitely Egyptian. There's a lot of gray area for me because I'm admitting I'm a novice when it comes to Isis and the high priestess and Athena and all this. There's a lot, so I'm kind of just absorbing tonight.
I only know what you hear in mainstream stuff here and there. I actually don't know nothing. That's why I was really glad to check it out and have a look.
All I know about tarot is that it has a big root.
Ha! Oh, talking about that, Polly, I should have showed this on things. The other day I was in my pantry and I saw something growing, and I'm thinking, what will grow in here? There's no bloody light. And, I pulled it out and I went, how beautiful, man. This was so beautiful. I'll have to show my friend Polly. So this is what was in there. It was a sweet potato. But look at it, check it out. It's growing in the dark and it's red. And I just thought it was so beautiful.
It's time to just get a little spoon and scoop that part out and stick it in the dirt.
Yeah, so
there you go. You'll have another sweet potato.
And Invasion of the Red Plants.
They're pretty.
We've got a lot of red plants coming up. But yeah.
She's looking for dirt.
So what have we got left? We're nearly at 2 hours.
That was really big.
I'd send it over, Polly, but it'd probably be really big by the time you get there.
Right.
So we got the mystery of the Longyou caves. We're going to jump on the train. We're all going to try.
Right. I got show and tell before you start, Luna.
Yep.
Sorry, my camera is off. It's super glitchy and my chair is broken, so I've like shrunk down since we started.
And I've got some funny things to show you too.
The curse of the little short people.
But that's the symbolism. That's
there she is.
Oh, right, gotcha. Yeah.
The high priestess, Hecate.
And
Athena.
I see.
Yeah, and for some of the owl, it's not on here, but she is associated with the owl, which, the high priestess is a very interesting tarot card.
Ooh.
Yes.
And earlier,
you
guys were talking about the Sphinx and the dog, and on the Wheel of Fortune, it's prominent.
And, it's interesting, Jules, that she brings the wheel out with her in the show because that is her prominent thing, is the goddess of the wheel. And to me, what that means, she's the supreme goddess of time, that time is that wheel.
Yeah, I'm in your camp. Like I'm saying, I'm still unlearning and uncovering information, as I haven't had time to strictly dedicate a lot of time to it, but it's definitely one of the most fascinating people that I've kind of looked into in the past couple of years.
I should have paid more attention at school.
Yeah.
All right, so everyone jump on a plane. We're going to China now.
All right, here we
We're
go.
going to the Longyou caves in China. Now, while I was looking around, I've only got a short article to read out, but I've got heaps of pictures for you. Some people say it's BS and people made it, blah blah. Other people, they don't know who they can't. Yeah. They don't know who made it. When I first looked at it, I went, "Oh, it's obvious giants had something to do with this." And I always got to do the giants. I'm sure I was a giant in another life because I'm so small this time. All right, the Longyou.
Aha! That potato wasn't really that big. You're just very small.
Yeah,
You're giving your size away.
Yeah, it's all right. Good things come in little. What is it? Phenomenal powers in such a little tiny space. All right. Here we go. Longyou caves. I found them absolutely fascinating. They're ginormous. I've got a little picture with the size of the people that you can see, and I have a little article here which I'm going to attempt to read out and not burden my dear friend to read anymore. The mystery of Longyou caves. Longyou caves is a complex of 24 artificial caves constructed into the sandstone geology of Fenghuang Hill in Xizang province of China. Butchering it again. Oh, sorry. Hey, if my sister-in-law's Asian, it's okay. All right. Gee, this is really small. Hang on one moment. I'll read it out. I can't change the pictures when I'm reading, but I'll show you the pictures in a minute. So the caves were discovered by accident in 1992 when local farmers drained several ponds, revealing 5 large man-made caverns and 19 smaller caves. The 5 caverns, independent from each other, measured between 18 to 34 metres, reaching heights of up to 20 metres, with supporting pillars and distinctive shapes, remarkably curved, with shaking imprints across the cavern walls and ceiling. After news of the discovery spread across China, it was the first proposed that the caves were an obscure nature wonder. I don't think so. If nature can draw pictures like that, what's going on? Come on, Mum. As the design and formation was completely distinct from other ancient caves, quarries, mines, or ceremonial caverns constructed in China throughout antiquity to draw a comparison. Upon further study, it was found that each complete cavern has only one portal associated with a vertical shaft with a curved stairwell that allows rainfall and surface runoff to enter the caverns. To manage the water intake, a system of drainage through some drainage channels and a water trap was carved into the cavern base to collect the water. Pretty ingenuity, eh? And then I'll change the picture. That's the water. You can see the water picture there. There's another view. Well, I'll keep reading for you. Where was I? The caverns are also aligned along a south to southwest orientation, maximising the use of sunlight to illuminate the interior. With inclined side walls that reduces the stress on the cave ceiling, preventing collapse. It is highly possible that the cavern was formed by carving rock stones from top to bottom and layer by layer using short chisels with different sizes. They must have been giant chisels, man. Based on several short chisel marks from steel discovered in one of the larger caverns. Man, must have been big chisel. The question on who, when, and why Longyou caves were created has been an ongoing investigation by archaeologists and academics since the first initial discovery. Of course it is. Few historical records or debatable evidence have been found to answer any of these questions, with only Chinese poem by Yu Zhen, written in the 17th century, giving some documented province. Archaeologists have recovered glazed clay pots in the silt soil of the cavern floor, dated to the Western Han dynasty from 206 BC to 23 AD, which suggests that caves were constructed earlier, date from around 2,000 years ago. Why they were constructed has also led to a speculation that they were ancient quarries, a mausoleum, underground storage, Taos dwellings, reservoirs, secluded military encampments, a palace, or a ceremonial site. They don't have any clue what it is, for the gods and the ancestors, for the giants. Each theory has a reasonable argument. However, the scarcity of evidence can neither be supported nor disproved until further research may shed light on the mystery of the Longyou caves. So there you have it. And we're just going to check them out. I'll put it up nice and big so you can have a look how beautiful they are. Now, see the chisel marks in the roof? That's a big chisel. So whoever made these was big people. Because when you get to see the size of everything, it's like, wow. So there's a person that gives you a kind of, there's the staircase. It looks like skin, dragon skin. There you go. Look at the people.
Wow. Wow.
It's a big chisel, right? Those chisel marks are very big chisel marks. Belong to a tiny human like that, and they climbed up there. No. Yeah, but you can see what I'm saying.
I don't think they're chisel marks.
They're not. See?
Yeah, they look like some of the underground temples in India too.
Yeah. And they got water. So that's the outside. Look at it. It's bloody beautiful. So it was strategically put in that place. Look at that. So that's how the light comes in the rainfall. And there's a staircase, but only a giant would have made that. Only giants would have lived in there. Look at that. They could have lived in there quite happily. There's the light coming through again. Beautiful. Imagine sleeping in there, eh? You'd need a little fire, I reckon. Wonder what they did for heating, unless it was a warmer climate back then. There's some more carvings. They've gone and put lights and stuff in there to make it look good, you know. There's the water where it gathers, fresh water. There's another view with the light and the water rain. That's from the outside. And I don't know whether there should be that much water or whether that was just after, like, and here's where it is, a picture, a map of where it is in China. And I ain't going to pronounce those things. Ningbo, I can pronounce that.
What does that mean in Australia?
Yeah, I was just going to say that.
That's something you say when you have road rage.
Yeah, it sounds like a town in Australia, Ningbo.
Oh yeah, or it's a cafe.
And there's a colour picture. Look, see where it is, and it's actually near the river. Look at that. So, and that's it. That's all I got. That's all I got. People,
what kind of stone? It looks like granite or slate and sandstone inside. What kind of stone is it? Does it say?
No, it doesn't. And I didn't go fishing around for 101 articles. I just wanted to tell you about it and show it to you.
It's so pretty.
Okay, two things though.
That's so cool.
Depending on how old it is, the actual elevation and orientation of that land may have been different. Mm-hmm. And there's another way to make those relief carvings. You know, the carvings that are like they carve out the background and leave what they're wanting to carve, like it pops out. That's called a relief carving.
Right.
There's ways to do that with sound.
Ooh.
Like think of a sandblaster, right? But it's using sound, and it's basically just almost liquefying the rock directly in front of it. And if you had one big enough, like see, you could see how big it was. They just did like, you know how you'd paint, you just do it with this sound.
Yeah, I get you
Something
move
coming
it
through
along
it, like some kind of a
in
device with
layers,
sound
probably.
that you
Yeah,
hold in your hand,
yeah,
and it just liquefies the rock right in front of your face, and it's totally safe, and you can
yeah,
build
in
whatever you
layers.
want. Like, yeah, you can imagine
Yeah,
a guy with a big like painting pole, but instead of a roller at the end, it's this sound device that's just carving the rock away.
yeah. That
It's
was
sound.
so
It's got to
it
be sound frequency
has to be,
that
yeah.
made it so perfect.
Yeah,
You
we're
can cut
learning that.
rocks with sound. They've done it.
Or plasma, which is sound.
Yeah, cool,
Right?
All right, so I hope you enjoyed that too. Check out the
Yeah.
New Long Caves. And if you're rich, go and
I like the
jump on a plane and go
serpentine.
over there.
There's a lot of serpentine imagery,
Yeah,
you know.
I know.
D- I'm good at Longyou caves. That's easy to remember.
Yeah, it is a.
Longyou.
And I pulled
Yep.
this out last night. I did all my slides for the show, and then something popped in me, and I just put in like that and went, oh, yeah, I remember seeing this. I don't know. I actually didn't even know if I've done a show on it before because I'd seen it ages ago. So, all right.
Well, watch it be linked to the goddess.
Yeah, well,
Because I know that China literature, the goddess links to the Buddha of the underworld, and it's a feminine deity.
right. Yeah, I was interested to look at all these carvings in one go because it's a story, obviously, and it was written all over the
There's
wall.
a donkey.
Yeah,
You see like how detailed it is?
yeah,
Yeah.
Like, to get those fine lines, all you would have to do is use the same device, but just make the tip of it smaller.
smaller one. You probably had
And
a
that's
smaller
all
one.
they had to do. They probably just had all these different tips they put on the same device to make all these carvings. It was
Yeah.
easy to them.
Smaller one for do. All right, it's time for a laugh now. Fine.
Like, they got like
Um,
the depth in the sleeves and everything on that carving. It's incredible.
it is. It's amazing. Like when I saw it, I was just like in awe. I'd love to go there. I'd feel very small, but I'd love to go there. I love giant things.
I
We
wonder
actually
what
had
generated the sound. I have this like
this sound.
sort of fantasy
They-
that it was actual people singing that generated the sound into some kind
Okay,
of
but
machine changed the sound of these people singing into a thing that could melt rocks.
okay, wait. So we have 4 people walking on the water. They walked the sea. It's indicating clearly. The one pointing his finger and leading the way is holding. What is he holding? Is that a type of musical instrument
I don't know.
from from Chinese?
Oh, it could be one of those drums that
A
you
pen,
swing
a
back and forth.
calligraphy pen?
It could be a writing instrument because the one behind him looks like he's carrying a scroll, as well as the one on the donkey.
And the one on the donkey, or is it straw? No, wait. It's hard to tell. That one, the perspective is
Yeah, it's off at the side.
different. Almost like there's a missing head on the man on the donkey. To me,
I gotta be honest, I'm
It
glad the
looks like
donkey
his
had a
head's
cat.
turned to the left a little.
it could be Chinese symbolism is extreme detail. I know that much, right?
Also, there is definitely shadow with that lighting.
Yeah,
Yeah.
shadow lighting. Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
Okay.
the man on the donkey has a very small head.
Didn't the donkey carry another animal in the whole zodiac legend in Chinese? Didn't the donkey carry someone? Somebody hitched a ride on the donkey.
Oh, you're thinking of the Jade Emperor and the Zodiac story, it was the ox that carried the rat, and the rat jumped out and
Oh, okay, not the
actually,
donkey.
yeah.
There isn't a Year of the Donkey?
Yes.
No, but they probably should rename
there
it to
should
this
be.
year,
This year should be the Year of the
That's all right.
Donkey.
right?
There's a Chinese Year of the Donkey, isn't there?
Yeah, I thought there was. I don't know.
I think
There is
so.
now.
I know there's a rabbit.
That'll be the 13th year after the cat.
Right?
Yeah.
Now, I think this is depictions that came after the time of the statues.
Yeah, that's what I thought. They came, whoever was living there made it while they were in there.
Yeah, and I think it's actually depicting an ancient Eastern magical schools of magic. Because here's the thing. So everyone knows, right? Jesus walking on water was one of the signs that he was a deity of magical creation, ability to move and do things in a magician type way, right? So the wise men of the East were actually, in translations and history and stuff, it's recorded. These are magicians of the Eastern place from the East. So probably China, Asia.
It all goes back to, for me, the way that my mind thinks, it all goes back to Lemuria, Atlantis, those secret societies that knew that occulted information.
Exactly.
That when they dispersed long before Christ, it was all, in theory, Christ. There was one continent, and the continents split with the flood.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm not saying my information is correct or false. It's just there's so many bits and pieces of the puzzle of life that something comes and it connects to something else. But wait a minute, maybe it doesn't connect to this. Mm-hmm. That's the conundrum of a constant thirst for information.
Yeah. Yeah. Again, the details, I think it's depiction of gods or magicians. Here.
Because the magi, the wise men were referred to magi. Those were some of the
serpentines.
Yeah.
The serpent clan. That's what I hear. The serpent clan. The water dragon.
Check out the works of this guy named Gerald Gardner. He was the genealogist. He was a 33rd degree Mason. He's the one given permission by the royals to go and do genealogy. He's got connections that go to the Fisher Kings and the Elven people. And then I'm kind of watching a couple of other guys who mention him, and they tie him together, and it's the actual Dragon Queen. I'll send you a link to that video because I think you'll find it interesting. But Gerald Gardner is his name, and the name of the book I can't remember, but it's got Ring, Lord of the Rings, but Rings is in the title. Because it's written as fiction, but knowing his background, he has put so much truth in there that it's like, all right, what's he trying to say?
Okay. Well, thank you for that information, everybody. And we're at the 2-hour mark. And I want to show you something funny. So we're at the end of the show with all the knowledge that we've given you. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you enjoyed going around the world. We're going off-world right now. Did you see what I found? So I'm going to share this because we're going to kick back and have a laugh before we go. Share my screen. Can I do this without stuffing it up? Yeah. You got to listen carefully. I'll turn it up, but listen carefully. Oh.
Yeah. Missing sound.
I missed the first joke.
Oh, we're not editing that out. A glass of water.
Was that a velociraptor?
I got another one after this.
I hate you.
What has 5 toes but isn't your foot? My foot. Why can't you hear a pterodactyl going to the bathroom? Because the pee is silent.
Oh my god.
Somebody asked me, where did your sister go, honey? I said, Alaska. He said, never mind, I'll ask her myself. I said, okay. Oh, God.
Oh my god.
It's only funny because they're aliens.
I know.
They probably never heard these jokes before.
Why can't you hear a pterodactyl going to the bathroom? Because the pee is silent.
Pee pee. Pee pee pee. Pee pee.
Somebody asked me, where did your sister go, honey? I said, Alaska. He said, never mind, I'll ask her myself.
We heard this one already.
I said, okay. Oh, God.
Oh, that snorting's in the video? I thought that was me.
Wait, we heard that one
First
already.
time I heard it, yeah. Like, shit, did I just snort?
Yeah, you missed the middle
I
joke.
thought it was you too, Polly. I was like, wow, that was a good laugh.
Yeah, that was. I needed that.
I hope you enjoyed that. There you go.
Dad jokes could be so fun.
Yeah, I'm going to look out for more of them. I thought they were really funny. And you're right, Polly. It's because they're aliens that makes it even funnier, and they're hiding, having a joint. Yeah.
They just smoked a joint for sure.
Yeah. So I want to thank you for coming. Thank you, Malia. Thank you, Jules. Thank you, Polly.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Thanks for having us.
Always a pleasure.
And thank you for watching, and thank you for watching tomorrow, if it's tomorrow that you're watching in. Happy Easter, everybody. Creator loves you. Stay centered. How we do it at home. This is how we do it at home. Stay deadly, because that means strong. Stay deadly. Here doesn't mean poison. It means a good thing. Stay deadly. Have a good holiday. Creator loves you. Look out for the weird shitometer, because things are getting weird out there.
Yes, they are. We're in that zone that eclipse is coming, and things just keep piling up with that. More and more state of emergencies, get water, blah blah blah. I wouldn't be surprised if something happens.
Yeah, something's happening. I can feel the energy building. Don't know if it's just people's fear or there's actually something.
Well, I mean, the days are going to come no matter what. I mean, I'm going to wake up and I'm going to still put one foot in front of the other and keep moving.
Right.
But there's a lot of planets lining up with this. There's the Devil's
What if
Comet.
it's cloudy? That's going to be
There's 8 different places in its path named Minerva.
I know, right? There's a lot of Hecate,
all the biblical stuff, and then there's 2 two broods of cicadas emerging at the same time, a 13-year cycle and a 17-year cycle.
Mm-hmm.
It's 6 years, 6 months, 6 weeks, 6 days since the eclipse in 2017.
Wow.
I mean, there's just so much that with this eclipse that, I mean, I'm going to pay attention to it, but like I'm saying, it's a day. I'm going to wake up and go about my life.
It's going to be interesting. There's a lot of Athenic-like characters in Hecate, the owl, different, the Minerva, or the owl symbolism. There's some Hermes principles too coming through. We just learned last week, and I just saw a lot of confirmation of that in this week of the Hermeticism, the really, really importance to stay not in in balance, but I like the word.
Oh yeah, and Rusty reminded me of all days to start firing back up. CERN is going to be firing up the day of the eclipse.
Isn't that interesting? And it like kind of aligns with sincerity. So let's play with the word a minute before we go, because sin is very Latin, right? Sin, it means without. We were saying, Polly was saying, but cerity is where kind of the like, where does this word come from? Which one is this that it's aligning to? I think because the word is like so ancient, it's probably related with some kind of deity. Because something that's talking about what it's trying to give context to. So, Shirti is, do we have a deity that's like an etymological word base of Shirti? Polly or anyone?
I'm thinking.
I see a kind of a closeness to Circe, but that's not the same thing.
It's Cerebrus, but I'm not making a connection to what.
Right.
And I don't know who that is or who you're talking about.
I don't know. I'm trying to make a word correlation to Circe. Where does the word?
Why am I thinking Cerebrus has to do with the dog star Cirrus?
I see like a breakup of certify or certification, right?
Certify, yeah.
But then why would we be without in the scene of the word without certi, without certification? That doesn't seem like sincerity to me, but maybe in the sense of like without need of certification, a sincere, right?
Yep.
So if you're a sincere partner or a sincere person, you're not needing an extra certification.
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
Right?
Yep.
Yeah.
The proof's in the pudding, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Polly, you want to add to that?
The word certain comes to mind.
Right.
So if it's real, then it's certain. So that's all I have to add there. Because there's so many words you can like break that down into. Like there's the word sin in there. There's since. There's, well, that's pretty much it. Well, there's it too.
There's it, yeah, and that's it. Well, there's the word of the week, people. Carry that with you until we get another one next week. See how it correlates.
It's a very royal word. It's definitely a royal. There's some royalty going on here with sincerity.
Yeah.
Yes.
So we're going. I hope you enjoyed the show. Yalu. Have a good week. Next week.
Yalu.
Yeah, Yalu.
Thanks, everyone.
Thanks for being here, everyone.
We'll see you next time. We're going to rock it out. We're rocking it out. See ya.
Stay great.
I like this music.
It's a good turn it up.
Enjoy the rest of your weird week. Love you, lovely day.
Very weird.
Later.
Yeah. We